Hello everybody and welcome to Front Row Racing on this Friday evening where we are getting ready to send the drivers over to the racetrack, the Silverstone National Racetrack in the FRRUF GT3s to compete in the FRRUF Cup in Front Row Racing. I'm Front Row Racing DP. I'll be doing commentary tonight, but I'm also going to be joined in the commentary box by Dre6181 from all the way over the pond in America. And Casey1 is also in the commentary box with us, but whether we hear from him tonight or not depends on how much I can coax him into saying something. But Dre, how are you today? Looking forward to seeing how the guys are going to get on in the Porsches around Silverstone?
Oh yeah, like I was saying earlier, tight track. It's gonna be fun to see.
Yep, definitely is. Now, for anyone that is watching right now and has shown interest recently in getting involved in the Front Row Racing ProjectCARS side of things, if you want to get involved today, there are still, I think, a couple of spaces available in this lobby. So if you do want to get involved in this race tonight, drop KSlay1 a message as quick as you can on the on the PSN, and he will get you involved if he can. So in a few moments we'll send the drivers over to the racetrack, and I will pre-warn everybody, I haven't arranged or sorted out a question of the day yet for today, so Dre, you're safe with that one. But I will quickly go through the points, the current point standing in the FRRUF Cup, as it's quite cheekily known. And I'll just remind everybody as well that this Friday event may not always be available to be broadcasted. It's one of the reasons why in Front Row Racing we have been advertising, and we are still advertising and still wanting people to come forward and apply to be Front Row Racing ProjectCARS admins, so that they can help out in broadcasting and hosting and doing the points and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in getting involved in that side of things, feel free to send Front Row Racing JS a message on PlayStation, or come and find the Front Row Racing Facebook page, because that's where the leagues are run. You can drop us a message on there. But also, don't forget, you can have a look at the Front Row Racing ProjectCARS community on a PlayStation Network. Okay, quick run through the result from last time out, round 2. Pro Fubby went on to win a pretty much unchallenged event for him there, with FG Racing second place and Endex in third. Dave the Harp, 4th place, with Chicken Guy in 5th, IL Tell in 6th, Stig V Rob 7th, GT5 King in 8th, and Kulu Kutu 9th, Jason in 10th, and Dre did not finish. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Marcos did not finish, and neither did Ardington. So Dre, what happened last week?
I don't know.
We'll leave it at that, shall we?
I was going right when I was supposed to go left when I was supposed to go right, so I just parked the thing.
I don't blame you. Okay, so the overall standings then. Pro Fubby leading the way on 36 points, ahead of IL Tal on 22. Chicken Guy, he's also on 22 points, with Iceman LUFC on 20 points in 4th place. FG Racing, he really did impress me last week in Spain. He's in 5th on 16 points, with Endex, who's not available today, on 14 points, joined by Marcos on 14 points. Dave the Harp has 12. Kalakutu matches him with 12. RDJ124 has 10. James Hulkenberg on 9. Stig V Rob on 9. GT5 King, he's got 8 points, and so has Dexy Drum. And Timotheus has 7 points. GBM Vectra 6. Jason has 6. Dre has 4. Unfortunately, he won't score any points today. Ardington has 3, and RDB has 2 points. So yeah, any drivers that are wanting to get involved in tonight's event, now is your last sort of opportunity to drop KSlay1 a message and say, send me an invite please, and he will if he can. However, KSlay1, whenever you are ready, you can send us all over to the racetrack for tonight's event. We're going to have a 10-minute qualifying session, a 5-minute warm-up, and then 32 laps around the Silverstone National Circuit. There's no tyre wear, there's no fuel wear, so it's just an all-out battle around what you would think is a rather big track. However, Dre, it's not the big track we're running on here today, is it?
Yep, cut it in half and make it fast.
cut it in half, make it fast, make it not many corners, and potentially absolute mayhem. Because one of the things that I've always noticed is, sorry, just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, just give me one.
Yeah, that Wellington Straight's going to be the stairway to heaven.
It could also be the stairway to hell. Knowing this track, I was going to say, one of the things that I've always noticed on Project Cars is the shorter the track, the more overtakes you have, because it is just so short, so frantic, and I mean, it'll get confusing for us, Dre, so as the race gets into its later stages and potentially people are getting lapped, it could get very confusing for us. But I tell you what, the drivers wasted absolutely no time in bombing out onto the racetrack. And well, I mean, with a 10-minute qualifying session and a short circuit, there's a good opportunity for them, isn't there, to just get out there and keep pounding around, putting lap after lap after lap in.
Nothing wrong with them being eager. I mean, get out there and get it started, right?
Definitely. Well, I'm on board with Dex at the moment, and he's about to start a flying lap. So I was just wondering, Dre, if you want to try taking us through the lap on board with Dre, with Dex even, because you're Dre.
Let me find him here. All right. I'm not too familiar with the track here. Still daisy fresh, but he's usually pretty tight. I mean, but he's off on the turn right here. And again, you put me on the spot.
Yep, and he
another turns or anything, but.
Well, he's actually, I think he's backed out of the lap there. He's got himself into quite a lot of traffic. I tell you, I'm going to jump on board. Well, let's find one of the specific Friday drivers. Dover 440. Not a name that I've seen before, so it must be one of the new guys out there today. And it'll be interesting to see how some of the new people get on. I mean, one of the things that you may have mentioned, Dre, in the past, and other people who've done commentary, is that the level of competition can be quite surprising when drivers get onto the racetrack. But Dover is about to start a flying lap then, or he may even be about to complete one, but he's going to go on for another lap anyway. So as he makes his way towards the start-finish line, he's heading now towards Copse Corner, the old Turn 1 in Formula 1, the new Turn 1 here. Big smoke ahead of him as the car's had a big off, but nicely through Turn 1 for Dover 440. He's now heading towards Maggots and Beckett's, but he's not going to get as far as Beckett's because we're going to take a right-hand hairpin, which will lead us on to the Wellington Straight. Definite overtaking point on entry and exit of the Wellington Straight, and as he makes his way now towards the Brooklands corners and the BRDC on the right hand side of the track, just there with a flag above it. Looking a little cautious is Dover on entry into the corners, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's something we talked about last Sunday, Dre, about drivers being cautious through the corners and carrying as much speed as they can. And Dover's been bumped down to 6th place. Let's see if this can improve his lap time.
Yeah, I was talking to him in the community page on the PlayStation Network, and he's daisy fresh, so he can really know what he got himself into. He's not too bad, I mean.
Well, we'll see how he gets on. Now, Marco's, I'm just wondering, Dre, did you manage to watch back the race from last Friday?
I watched some of it, yes.
So was you able to see how brave and perhaps overly aggressive Marcos was on the brakes? I'm just wondering if he's going to be attacking the track in a similar fashion today.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like a style, so I'm sure we can expect at least something like that from him. I mean, you know, he wasn't just randomly doing it in one turn or the other. It kind of seemed like his style, so
well,
I think that's why he was a bit defensive about it, you know.
Quite possibly. Now, I mean, Silverstone, the Grand Prix circuit, it's a track where it's all about high speed and flow of corner, and the short national circuit is not that dissimilar either. You need grip in the high speed corners, but where the corners link together, it's about the flow and carrying the speed and minimising, or should I say maximising, the lowest speed that you do through the corners. And we'll see if if Marcos has been able to do that. He's currently sitting in 6th place and about to cross the line. Has he improved? Yes, to 5th place.
So that's the first 7 cars, all 54 points. From 54.0 to 54.8.
So 8 tenths between the top few then. Well, I'm looking at Pro Fubby now, and he's currently sitting on pole position. And he obviously led the race last Friday, and he's in a great position to do so again here. I mean, with 5 minutes left of the qualifying session, we'll have a look and see if he's going to be able to improve on it. But I mean, do you know anything about Pro Fubby at all, Dre?
I know he's fast. He's not. I mean, he's fast, but he's not, incredibly faster than most of the guys right here. It's going to be an issue with traffic. He can keep it up front. If he can keep out in clean air, no traffic, he might be good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see what he was like actually in a battle last time out, so it would be interesting if someone could really take the fight to him. But he's about to cross the line now, and can't improve on his time of a 54.0. FG Racing, I said he impressed me last time in Spain, and he did. And I tell you what, he is ever so close to beating Pro Fubby on the qualifying lap time here, 54.075. Yeah, the gap is tiny, isn't it?
That's pretty much the same time, man. 2 1,000ths of a second. If somebody's going to race him, we'll find out if he can drive now.
Well, I mean, one of the things the drivers may be doing right now is sort of pushing the car a little bit more to see where they can gain that extra bit of time, and maybe they're finding that they're pushing too hard, and they could be in that situation of maybe they need to back off a little bit to improve the lap time. But they are doing what I thought they might, which is sort of get out there and just pound laps in at the moment. I just want to see what FG Racing's next lap time is going to be, if he can improve on it or not. And I was just wondering if you could have a look at Pro Fubby, whether he's been able to improve on his lap time, and then we'll have a look at sort of 3rd and 4th place.
Pro Fubby improved slightly.
So he improved slightly. FG Racing, he's improved by half a second. Nicely done. Nicely done by him. That, yeah, you're right. Pro Fubby did improve slightly. I think he will get a little bit annoyed by FG Racing's lap there, but FG Racing very happy about that one. Marcos, he's got himself up to 3rd place with a 54.1. He's about to cross the line again. Can he improve? No, he can't. Lonnie, HLB, not a name I've seen before, but another guy that sat there on a 54.1 in a little bit of traffic as well, but maybe that could help around here, Dre, with a little bit of slipstream maybe.
You know what I'm looking at with my brand new handy dandy app here? You got guys, the first 8, the first 9 are 54s, but look who's in 10th, 11th. You got ALTEL, Dex, Stig V Rob, you guys are fast too, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, we know that Eltel is quick, that's for sure. I mean, he's in the 55s at the moment. Dex, yeah, 55.4 for him. Stig V Rob, I mean, we know these guys are quick because they race in the ProjectCARS DTMs, but at the same time they've probably done no practice in these cars, so they're finding out what they handle like around this track in this qualifying session. So let's see, up at the front, has Pro Fubby, can he improve? No, he can't. He's still stuck at a 54.068.
But no need to.
True. I mean, starting in 2nd place, it'd give him the inside line into turn 1, and it could be the right line to be on. What I think both 1st and 2nd are going to have to be careful of, though, is that Marcos is going to be starting right behind them at the moment in 3rd place.
He's faster in sector 1.
Is that Pro Fubby, is it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll pop the camera on board with him. And how much up was he in sector 1?
Oh, maybe I lied. He isn't faster. I'm 10 slower.
Okay, so
I could have sworn I seen different numbers there, but you know.
Well, the Project Cars dashboard app, it's great when it works. He did improve by 0.002 of a second. So he's consistent, let's put it that way. FG Racing, he's still sat on a 53.644 at the moment. But he's, I mean, with that kind of speed difference, time difference, he's on for opening up a gap at the front for sure, as he knows that his session is now over. There's only 15 seconds left of qualifying, so the guys have got to hurry up and get to the line. Marco's, he's going to be able to get there. I don't know if anybody else behind him will. It's going to be tight for Marco's. 3, 2, 1. Just maybe. He might have done, but he didn't improve enough.
Take a look at that. 2.1 for the entire field.
Yeah. So
this is gonna be fun.
it was definitely an interesting qualifying session. I mean, the times are so close, and on a really short track. I mean, it's not a big surprise that it is. But the guys are out there, going to be going out now for the warm-up session. But FG Racing taking pole position. I don't know if that's come as a little bit of a surprise to me, Dre. What about yourself?
Came out of nowhere for me. I really didn't expect that. I expected, you know, ALTO to keep a good run going. Expected Frubby up there, you know, checking guy Dex. Dex is a speed demon. Dave the Harp's always up there. It's good to see it mixed up though, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely indeed. So, the warm-up session. You've done a few of these races, Dre. I mean, what would you use the warm-up session for? I mean, it's not like the guys can change anything with their setup or edit the fuel or anything like that. So what would you use the warm-up session for?
I use it personally, just tighten up the car on the turns, try to get the most speed I can out of the turns, and you know, if the car's good, then I'll just give myself a lap to literally warm it up. Get ready to race. Yep.
If your name's Dave the Arp, you use it to have a quick smoke. Or if your name's GBM Vectra, you use it to pop open another can of beer. So 3.5 minutes then we've got until this race gets underway. And like I said, it's quite a long race in terms of amount of laps, but it's a short race because it's a short track. And I mean, is this a circuit, Dre, do you think, where if somebody ends up getting spun around and gets put right to the back of the field, could this be a track where they can still fight their way back through?
If the field stays tight, yeah, because you know, when everybody's racing each other, you catch up to them. But you know, real quick, there's a few guys out here using this warm up to trade paint, so they're getting started early already.
That they could be doing. Okay, quick look about, see who else is out there on track. Dex is just heading out there. Dave the Harp is in the paddock, in the smoking area. NGR Danzo, another name that I can't say that I've personally seen before, but he's headed back into the pits now. Anyway, we're just having a look at these lap times some of these guys are putting in now. Chicken Guy 02, he's managed to get himself a 54.3. I mean, for the warm-up session as well, I mean, it could be another case of the drivers having another opportunity of going, look, see, I was quick enough to get in the top two rows. But with so many guys on the 54.1 in qualifying, yeah, it kind of locked out the top six.
The over 440 wasn't in the 54s. She is now. So, I mean, it's more tightening up, so I mean, it's going to be fun.
Just wonder if he's going to be able to improve on this lap as well. No, he doesn't improve on that lap, but I'm just trying to do a little bit of sort of mental arithmetic, which doesn't really work very well, but I'm just let's see if we can work this out. Okay, if last place is 2 seconds a lap slower than first place, it'd take what, 25 laps for them to get lapped. So technically we could have nobody lapped for most of the race. It could be that close and that frantic, but we do know that crashes are probably going to happen. So Dre, you're safe from the crashes today up in the commentary box, and seeing as you are up in the commentary box, do you like seeing a bit of action out there when it comes to bumper on bumper?
You know, ironically, I drive better in traffic, so you know, I would enjoy being out there on this particular track. Just For some reason, I can't qualify so good. But I like to be in traffic and bumper to bumper mixing it up. It's good racing. It's good to watch, and it's a good test of your skills. So.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that like qualifying is perhaps not your strongest point. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like that where they're much more comfortable in a race situation than they are in a qualifying situation. I mean, there's footballers, and I'm sure American footballers and baseball players that are much more comfortable on match day than they are in practice. And it's a similar kind of thing. I mean, it's just what suits you best, I suppose.
The same exact situation. I play American. Well, I used to play American football, and I wasn't the best in practice. But when you get on the field, you flip a switch and you go get it. So.
Well, that's the thing. The competition brings it to a different level, I would say. I tell you what, FG Racing's 53.6 in qualifying was not a flash in the pan, because he has done a 53.8 in this warm-up session. So even what you now would class as a slow lap for him is would still be quick enough to have put him in pole position. But that's for warm-up over, which means the race is going to be underway very, very quickly. Just want to see, Casely, you got any predictions of a winner? You want to gamble a guess on a winner?
I'm going to go for one of the new boys, Lonnie.
Oh, okay, so keep an eye out for Lonnie. He'll be the first one with the target on his back now, I'm sure. So we'll see how the guys are going to get on here. We are going to have to retire as quickly as we can as the lights come on, because by the time we get on board with the guys, they're already going to be up at turn one. And I tell you what, it's looking quite frantic up there. Profubi not having the best of starts, holding on to second place as Marcos tries to go around the outside of him. Chicken Guy in fourth runs a little bit wide, and you know what? I think everybody got through turn one quite nicely.
Nice and smooth. I didn't expect a single file line like this.
Oh,
contact with number 440.
Yep, he's taken Eltel out wide with him, I think, unless it's showing me the wrong person. They're all getting a little bit frantic at the back now as the 4 wide onto the Wellington straight, and I think there may have been a little bit of lag in there as well. Up at the front though, FG Racing leading the way.
Somebody sideways. Yeah. Marco got a little sideways. Chicken Guy straightened them out.
So, well, Marcos and Chicken Guy, they had a couple of comings together last time out in Spain, which dragged both of their cars off into the gravel. So maybe Chicken Guy helping him out a little bit this week is quite a nice touch. But Chicken Guy doing what Marcos was doing last week and flashing his lights at him. Oh, Chicken Guy, so much quicker. Oh, contact between the two. That's going to have them both going off. And I don't think I don't think Marcos will be too happy about that, to be honest, because that's now put Dave the Harp all over the back of them. And in the background, oh, Stig v Rob sideways. Can he catch it? I don't think he can, but Eltel's taken another trip onto the gravel.
You got GP Oldman and Dex came up on those guys too while they were beating and banging on each other.
Well, you were saying during the qualifying that there's guys at the back of the grid, the likes of Dave the Harp, Stig v Rob, Dex, that are quick, and we know that they're quick, and perhaps their quality showing a little bit with all that drama kicking off on the opening lap, that those guys have just sort of driven past all of it.
They're quick and not so patient, so.
Yep. So, 2 laps already completed. Onto the third lap of the race now. The leading two pulling away a little bit. Marco's in second place ahead of Chicken Guy. And then a little train of cars behind them.
4-second gap. First two. Slowly walking away with it.
I'm just having a look at ninth place at the moment. He's just been passed by Dover 440 heading on to the Wellington straight. But you mentioned about the 4-second gap there. Is it a gap between first and second, or a gap between second and third, that 4 seconds?
First and third.
Okay, yeah, so bit of a gap creating then between first and third as I have a close-up look at the paddock. And yeah, I mean, do you think that Profubi is just sort of biding his time, being patient, trying to find out where he's quicker?
It sure seems that way. It looks like he's got, like, what's his name? He's new, I'm sorry. FG Racing, he's got a rope and he's just pulling him behind him. He's just staying right behind him, nice and patient.
Well, that's all he really needs to do. Just to let you know, Dre, your microphone may have gone a little bit quiet, so you may need to, let's see if we can get it a little closer to your mouth.
Chicken Guy and GP Oldman.
Well, Oldman, he might be an old man, but he's no slouch when it comes to making moves. A nice little move there up into Brooklands. And is that Dex in? I'm just trying to see.
He's showing a little respect there. Gave him the space, so that was the other one.
Well, at the end of the day, it takes two to tango. It takes two to give space to make overtaking and racing look great. Dex did have
making a pass on Dex. Oh, he can't complete it.
Well, I thought he was, but I think that it's showing me different cars on my view at the moment. So I knew I saw two cars side by side, but then when I went on board with Dex, it was showing nobody near him. So it was a little bit frustrating for me and the viewers, I'm sure. And in the background as well, RDJ making a move up the inside of Lonnie HLB. So Caseley's pick for the win. He's down in 9th place. No, he's made the move up into 8th place.
Got it back and forth the whole last half of the lap right there. Those guys are going back and forth.
Well, this is where really we need them all to bunch up again so they're overtaking each other on the same camera shot. But it's not going to work out that way. So Pro Fubby, he's losing a little bit of time now, you know, to FG Racing. And I don't think he can really afford to give FG Racing a bit of breathing room, because if he does, I think he'll be gone. Marco's, now that he's got himself a little bit of clear air, he may actually begin to start catching up the leaders. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Chicken Guy, yeah, he's opening up a little bit of a gap now as well to GBM Oldman, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oldman closes that gap right up again. Dave the Harp.
He's in 12th right now, just riding back there. Maybe he's like
me,
he just doesn't like this.
Was that Eltel or was that no Danzo? It is that's had a bit of an off into the gravel there, but yeah, I mean, okay, Eltel. I mean, what do you think it is that's got him down? I know he's had a couple of collisions early on, but he didn't seem to have the pace in qualifying either.
I can drive that Merc AMG GT3 better than I can drive as well, so maybe he just doesn't like the car like me.
Maybe.
This car sometimes just doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is, because it turns good, it handles good, sometimes though, you just don't want to be in it.
That is true. Well, Eltel's still trying to apply pressure, not quite able to do so at the moment. Although, is that Lonnie and Dex, 7th and 8th place? Yes, it is. I think Lonnie's made another move.
Oh, he shut the door on him. Who was that? RDJ shut the door on him. Oh, no, and now Rob's loose.
Nah, he's got lag. Major lag on Stig v Rob there. He may have got a little bit sideways, but his car was showing him to be even more sideways. Let's see, Dex and Lonnie. So Lonnie making moves at the moment, so maybe Caseley's pick is someone to not to be ignored, because he's opening up a little bit of a gap now. Sorry, Dre, you're getting a little bit quiet, mate. I'm struggling to hear you a little bit.
Sorry, I was just saying, both these guys steady moving forward right here.
That they are. Interestingly, FG Racing 53.679 matches what he was able to do in qualifying. Pro Fubby, he's managed to get into the 53s now, with him following FG Racing, following his lines, and perhaps learning something here.
I kind of feel like he's just sitting back.
Maybe. I mean, it does look a little bit like he's perhaps biding his time, but at the same time, I mean, he's done a faster lap in the race than he did in qualifying, so I think he's potentially still learning and getting quicker as this race goes on.
Two-hundredths of a second.
What?
In sector 3 right there.
Okay, so not much between them in the sectors then. I'm just hoping that this battle, sort of 4th, 5th, 6th, really starts to come alive, because there's not much of a gap between these guys. And let's see, 7, Lonnie and Dex, they're side by side heading towards Maggots. Oh, and in the background as well, 3 cars trying to make it into one space. Doesn't always work, but they're going to have another go at it.
And who wins that battle? ALT. 2 cars for 1.
Well, you say that, but I think he might lose it into Brooklands, because he's got Stig v Rob up the inside of him. And Eltel runs wide.
Under pressure right there. He doesn't like the car. I guarantee he doesn't like the car.
Yeah, he may not be feeling very comfortable at the moment in that Porsche at all.
That's uncharacteristic of him.
It is. I mean, we saw him take his first win in the DTMs on Sunday. He did have a fantastic race. Perhaps looked into it a little bit, but he has proven to be sort of a very consistent driver. But I tell you what, FG Racing, I don't know if ProFubby has made a mistake somewhere, but FG Racing's got a bit of a gap now up at the front. Marco's still can't break into the 53s. I mean, you might want to keep an eye, Dre, on whether he is gaining on them or not.
I've been looking a little bit at ProFubby. It seems to me that there's just one section, maybe. I haven't really been able to catch which one. One section, one little sector, one little area where FG Racing's that little bit faster than him, and that's how he's doing it.
Okay, GBM Oldman just made a little bit of a mistake coming through Woodcote. That's going to give David Harp the opportunity to have a look into Copse, but he's had to back out of it. It is kind of single file through Copse unless you are already alongside, but David Harp applying a little bit of pressure onto GBM Oldman.
Try to get into that corner a little too hard.
Okay.
You know, this isn't the race I expected to see at all. I mean, this is definitely not what I thought I would see.
Well, David Harp's made the move past GBM Oldman. GBM Oldman made another mistake. Lonnie's up into 7th and pulling away from Dex and may catch them up. Dover 440, you said, has just had a little bit of an off. I mean, where did that happen?
Just the beginning of Wellington Straight, I believe. Again, I'm not too familiar with the track, but...
Okay. Well, he's not...
Is it at the beginning or the end of Wellington Straight?
Oh,
There's too much speed into the corner.
No problem. I mean, the thing is, in cars that you can't adjust the setups on, you've basically got to work out what the car likes, what it doesn't like, what it can do, what it can't do. Oh, in the background, I've just seen Stig v Rob and Eltel. They're going at it once again, side by side. That's not going to work for either of them, I don't think, because it could both end up off the track.
I don't know about that one.
Well, nature of it, you make a bit of contact with a guy and it tends to drag both of you off onto the track, although if Stig v Rob's car's lagging about like I've seen for Eltel, then it would be difficult.
That just looked rude from Rob right there, so maybe it's the lag that caused that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when you're in the seat to racing against someone and their car's all over the place and potentially keeps hitting you off, it's easy to get angry and frustrated at the guy, but sometimes, quite often, like if you watch back afterwards and go, oh, okay, the guy had laggy, he knew absolutely nothing about it, it does put a whole different light on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had it happen to me where, I had guys, oh, what were you doing? From my view, it was just smooth sailing, so you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would say is I know on our F1 side of things, this battle between 4th, 5th and 6th is beginning to heat up a little bit. It's Chicken Guy making a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, on our F1 side of league, it's a case of you are responsible for your connectivity. So if your car is lagging about and it's hitting people, you are responsible for it. As much as some people might not like it, that's just the way it is. You've got to have working equipment.
Yeah, it makes it so clear too. I mean, you'll know in the qualifying if you're lagging around. So if you're allowed to hang out, and guys know you're lagging out, they can give you space too. But racing's racing, so
yeah.
I mean, have a car that's twitching all over the track.
No, I mean, a little bit of movement you can kind of live with. You can go, okay, he's got a little bit of lag, I'll give him a little bit of room. But yeah, I mean, when people are sort of jumping and disappearing and swinging from one side of the track to the other, there's pretty much absolutely nothing you can do that as a driver when you're approaching that kind of situation. Okay, so we're not far off halfway through the race at the moment, and this battle for sort of 4th, 5th and 6th, I think, is the closest battle up near the front, but I think these guys are just too well matched on pace. They're not catching each other, they're not losing time to each other, but Lonnie in 7th place is catching up.
Yeah, I think what you have is just, one guy maybe doesn't get on the gas quick enough and then tightens it up and there's a battle, or brakes too late or too soon, and there's a battle off of that. Besides that, it's follow the leader.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. If you can get into a bit of a fight with somebody, or talking about fights, RDJ and Stig v Rob, very close together as they go onto the Wellington Straight. We've got the Gentleman's Club overtaking the Bear. No wonder the Bear's been sliding about today and grabbing everybody. But yeah, I mean, if two cars ahead of you get into a fight, it's going to give you an opportunity. Just as I'm watching Stig v Rob try and make this move, but struggling to do so. Having a look for a switchback, maybe a little bit of contact there, and that's RDJ down to 12th.
I'll tell you, Stig's a speed demon, man. I don't know if he just doesn't like to brake or what, but he likes to go fast, hard into turns and try to drive it out, and it ends up in contact a lot of times. So. Well,
the thing is, it is difficult as well. I mean, when a car's lagging about, it's difficult to know exactly where the driver is putting the car. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people's driving, I would like to think, always has the possibility to improve, as Dex is being passed by Dover 440, and that was Dex there realising the car was up the inside, he'd got the corner, gave him plenty of room to do it and focused on his own exit and line through the corner, which may give him the opportunity to fight back. I mean, okay, yeah, we like to see a nice bit of wheel-to-wheel racing, but I mean, touching on what you said there, Dre, I mean, nobody wants to race with people that are just ramming each other off the racetrack, and those kind of people I don't think will last very long in the ProjectCARS Front Row Racing leagues.
Yeah, it's a shame that Stig's having the issues, because I don't believe it's intentional. He showed last week or last Sunday in that race that he's a pretty good driver. So I don't think it's intentional, but it's still happening. So
yeah,
even though it's not intentional, try telling that to anybody that's driving around them.
Yeah, try telling that to the person that got shunted into the gravel on the first lap. Okay, up at the front, FG Racing looking as comfortable now as Pro Fubby did in Spain last week, and we are now getting lapped cars. I think that I'm not sure exactly. I think that might be Nazda or whatever his name was. I know I've got that name wrong, but getting out of the way quite nicely there. Danzo, Nazda, I was close. I just got a few of the letters in the wrong places. So yeah, Danzo getting well out of the way in a blue flag situation. Fair play to him. He's in a bit of a tricky spot at the moment.
Going at it, side by side.
Oh, let's see how they get on this occasion. All over the curb with Stig v Rob.
I just thought that was going to end so much worse. He just did a good job keeping off the do.
Well, that's where RDJ gave the space around the corner, gave the... he had the apex and he kept it tight, and to be fair, I mean, Stig v Rob gave him the room there to do it, but Stig v Rob having a look up the inside into Brooklands, a little bit of contact again, but as we've already said, we don't know if it's to do with lag or not. Sorry, Dre, I'm struggling to hear you, mate. Your mic keeps dropping low in volume.
I'm sorry. It makes it hard to know what he's doing because he's twitching all over the place.
Yeah, it is. It's very difficult to know what he's doing. And, I mean, RGDJ, I mean, he could be getting frustrated at the fact that he makes a move and gets past, and he's got an opportunity again here, down into the same corner. But what he might want to do is actually wait and go for the move into Brooklands. Or as Stig v Rob runs quite wide. But, yeah, go for the move into Brooklands and give Stig v Rob less of an opportunity to come back at him.
I mean, this is really only live battle we got going on right now, but up in the front, FG Racing opened up a 5-second gap.
Wow, yeah, he's absolutely flying at the moment. Lonnie is still trying to catch up to GBM Oldman, and Dave the Harp is closing in on Chicken Guy. But both of these guys, well, Chicken Guy has managed to get into the 53s now, so he's getting sort of into the groove of the racetrack a little bit. And Dave the Harp, he's still trying to find that extra little bit of pace, but he is closing that gap in.
I
Oldman.
don't know if getting down into the 53s is going to help him when FGU Racing is getting down into the low 53s, or trying to anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, for FG Racing, I mean, for anyone to catch him, they're going to have to start hitting 52s, which I don't think that's necessarily going to work. Okay, I've missed it, but RDJ has got ahead, a long way ahead of Stig v Rob, and it could be that that's from allowing the race leader through, because the race leader is now right behind RDJ and just ahead of Stig v Rob, so that battle has kind of come to a head for the moment. So the closest battle we do have, let's see, it is the battle for 4th place, Chicken Guy and Dave the Harp.
I'm sure, who is it there, RDJ breathing a sigh of relief after that.
Yeah, definitely, that's for sure. But if you're Chicken Guy now, I mean, you've got Dave the Harp beginning to catch you up. Dave the Harp being the guy that's leading the DTM championship at the moment. Does this bring pressure to Chicken Guy? Is that what could potentially bring a couple of mistakes for him now?
He knows who's behind him, so I mean, it depends. You know, sometimes your car's good and you just drive. Sometimes you're not so sure and you're looking in your rear view, and that's when you make a mistake.
Yep. Definitely is. Well, Dave the Harp is, well, I wasn't going to say he's right on the back of him, but he is close enough that if there is any kind of a mistake, he's in position to take full advantage of it.
I'll track somebody.
That, I believe, would be Stig v Rob, I think, or Danzo, that was off at Brooklands there, perhaps just letting everybody past.
Danzo with a tough race, looking like Dre out there.
I wouldn't go bashing yourself that hard. You never know. You never know how this race could have gone. For Chicken Guy has just made a mistake. He ran very wide through cops there. That's showing that the pressure is definitely on his shoulders right now.
Wow, quite a gap between him and Marcos too, huh?
Well, I mean, let's see. What is that? Well, it's the whole length of the Wellington Straight, isn't it?
Well, almost 3 seconds. 2 seconds.
Well, Pro Fubby is now so far behind the race leader that when he comes around the final corner, the race leader's already around turn 1. So maybe a little bit frustrating for Pro Fubby, who has got his lap time down to a 53.7. But FG Racing still just looking very comfortable out there. Marco's running in 3rd. He's kind of in no man's land at the moment, and with not having anyone to overtake, he's not really pushing it too hard through the corners, although he did just miss the apex by an absolute mile there. But yeah, this battle, Chicken Guy, Dave the Harp, I mean, for Chicken Guy, this is about beating one of the DTM drivers, and for Dave the Harp, this is just about having some fun. So two very different approaches of driving from these guys.
I'll tell you, last couple of laps, Marcos has been faster than Pro Fubby too, but with 9 laps left, it's probably not enough time to catch him.
No, I think you might be right. I mean, what is the gap between 2nd and 3rd at the moment?
A second. No, I'm lying. Not even a second.
I was going to say, it can't be a second. See, the ProjectCARS dashboard app, it's great when it works, and when it doesn't, it makes you look really daft.
I got numbers twitching everywhere, so I got to try to be slick and catch them when they're right.
No problem. Well, Dave the Harp is still trying to apply pressure, but I think when Chicken Guy kind of ignores the fact that Dave is there and focuses on his own racing lines, he's quick enough to keep Dave behind him, which would be a good feat. I'm just wondering if we could perhaps bring Casely in for a moment. He's been sitting there nice and quietly just watching the race. I'm just curious, Casely, I mean, what have you been having a look at out there on the racetrack today? I mean, has anybody stood out for you? Has anybody disappointed you, perhaps?
Just keeping an eye on people, seeing how everyone's getting on, particularly the 3 newcomers. Once again, impressed with FG Racing. Very, very consistent to beat Pro Fubby. There's obviously no mean feat, so he's doing well. Also impressing me in his first race is Lonnie, who I tipped at the start, but by tipping him, I think I cursed him instead.
Yep.
Dover as well was not doing too bad, in 8th place. But yeah, Eltel, after winning in the DTM on Sunday, I thought it might be up there, but like you've been saying, he might just not be getting on with the car at the minute.
Watching him a little bit. It was kind of hot and cold, you know. Sometimes it's good, sometimes seems to be with a controller too, so that might be why.
Maybe Eltel has just celebrated the win at Bathurst a little bit too much with the Australians over there. So yeah, that could be why he's not quite on it today. Chicken Guy, I tell you what. So go on.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the couple of rough races, I remember racing with Eltel, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't like this car.
Fair enough.
If he was back there racing with me, that means he wasn't doing so good with it in other races too.
Maybe that's why he's making sure he takes full opportunity when he gets to sit in one of the DTMs. But I was going to say, Chicken Guy looks like he's responded to Dave the Harp's attack quite nicely. Dave the Harp has finally got down into the 53s, and now he's got close again. Chicken Guy comes under pressure again. Chicken Guy has got a car ahead of him, but is that Marco's? I don't think it is. I think it's a back marker, but...
pretty good. It is Marco.
Is it? Is it? Is...
Yeah, Chicken Guy's holding Dave off pretty good. He's... they say that he slipped up a little bit, but...
No,
he's not looking in the rear view. He's looking forward.
I think the car directly ahead of Chicken Guy isn't Marco's. There's a car between Chicken Guy and Marco's. But Dave the Harps, here comes his opportunity with 5 laps left. If he's got a good run onto the Wellington Straight, he'll have a chance. But to be fair, that's where Chicken Guy has been fairly good, sort of on the long straights. It's in the corners where Dave has been gaining the most. And let's see if he can do anything here now. May have a look on the exit of the corner, taking a much tighter, later apex. Let's see if we can give him a good run down the start-finish straight. But
yes,
no.
As I say, he's not looking out of the rear view. He seems to be peeking a little more, so his Chicken Guy seems to be looking in that rear view a little more now.
Yeah, I think you can kind of tell when he's really... Like now, he's just had a little off. That's when he's looking in that rear view mirror and thinking, where are you? Where are you?
Peek real quick.
Oh, it's about to get busy though, just ahead of Chicken Guy. There's now 2 cars right in front of him. It's not Marco's, they are the back markers. So Chicken Guy will want them to get out of the way straight away, and Dave Harper will want them to hold him up a little bit.
Just so you know, Lonnie is on the back of GBM Oldman for P6.
That he is. He has been closing up quite nicely. Oh, I could hear contact. I can't see what it was, but I did hear the sound of somebody in the barrier. See Dave Hart right, he's closer than he has been for a while on Chicken Guy, but I don't think he's close enough. Chicken Guy aware that the car ahead of him could cause a problem for him.
Oh, he comes down on him.
Oh,
contact. Will it help Dave though? Oh yeah. Oh no, he can't do it.
It nearly held Dave. I'm not sure which driver that was there, but it definitely didn't help out Chicken Guy too much. I was going to have a quick look at Lonnie.
He got a little excited.
He could have done.
Got a little excited about that. He saw that opening, wanted to get in there a little too fast.
Lonnie's close enough to GBM Oldman to have a look. Is he going to chuck it up the inside? I think he thought about it, but he thought about thinking better of it. It might be wise. Okay, we're down to only 2 laps left to go. So, is Dave going for a move?
He gets right to his bumper and then I'll pull away from him a little bit. It's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, it'd be very, very frustrating. I mean, one of the downsides of driving the cars with all the same setups on is that you can't really get any benefit of being faster on a straight or faster in the corners down to setup. It's all down to what you can do on the track. Sorry, I can't hear you. Say again?
FG Racing getting some friction up there. He's trying to pass a lap car. Finally got by him now.
Well, I'm trying to show the off-board cameras, but it's just showing me the crowds and the stands. But yeah, FG Racing then on to the last lap of the race. I can't spend too long off-board him, otherwise we won't see him cross the line. I just want a quick look. Oh, Chicken Guy and Dave the Harp, they're close again as they're trying to pass a back marker. GBM Oldman is still just ahead of Lonnie, but I am going to jump back on board with FG Racing because he's only got a couple of corners to go before he does complete the race here. And what a fantastic race he's had. I mean, ProFubby we know is quick, and he showed it in Spain, and FG Racing is sort of, I don't know, I think he kind of picked up Thor's hammer here and dropped it on ProFubby's toes and says, don't you count me out yet, I'm worthy. Okay, I'll jump on board with them in a moment. So FG Racing then crosses the line, takes the victory. ProFubby, he's going to be second place. Marco's comfortably in third at the moment. Chicken Guy still ahead of Dave the Harp, just, but it does look like it's going to be Chicken Guy in fourth place, Dave the Harp in fifth place. Yep, it is. GBM Oldman and Lonnie are side by side, absolutely side by side. Can Lonnie take the tighter line towards the finish line? Yes, he can. He sneaks through into that sixth place as GBM Oldman tries to fight back and give him a little bit of a love tap on that as well. But that's down to seventh place for GBM Oldman. And I think Dex is in eighth at the moment with El Tel right behind him. So this battle not quite complete yet either, but it does look like it's going to be Dex in ninth and El Tel 10th it is. So well done to those guys. Stig v Rob may be in position there down in 11th.
That around it, I don't see anything unless somebody spins.
Well, a few of these guys are going to be heading over into the pit lane. So yeah, Stig v Rob, he'll be crossing the line for 11th place, and RDJ124 just behind him in 12th place. And for Danzo, he's already in the pit lane. It definitely was. I mean, for some of those guys out there, yeah, an absolutely fantastic showing, that's for sure. Okay. I must admit, I just want to say apologies for any of the dodgy camera work there, folks. But as I mean, I can show you now. Let's have a look on the broadcast view of FG Racing. Hang on a minute, that's not FG Racing. Right, let's switch car. Oh, hang on, that's the same car. Right, let's switch to another car. Hang on, that's the same car. Right, let's switch car. Hang on, that's the same car. So yeah, now you see the problem I've been having. So
work on your bird watching.
Oh no, we won't even get into bird watching because it could be something completely different over in America to what it does here.
I know about them English birds.
tweet. Anyway, an interesting race though, but yeah, I mean, got to say, fantastic drive by FG Racing, and like you said, Dre, I mean, yeah, the new guys. I mean, Lonnie to close that gap in and pass Oldman on that last lap. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. Oldman's a good driver, so have him do that. That's good hustle. Dover 440 in qualifying, I didn't think he was going to be doing much. Finished eighth. So even, and I guess you would call him the weaker one of the new guys. He still did pretty good, so.
That he did. I think we did only end up with 3 drivers a lap down, unfortunately, but on a short track like this, that's actually pretty good stuff. Okay, so we're not going to be doing a podium interview this evening, which may upset a few of the drivers, but it's Friday night and we've got a party to get to celebrate FG Racing's first win. Fantastic drive there by most of the drivers, and I'm sure a few people might be sending Stig v Rob a few messages, but if they watch this back, you'll be able to see that it is possible that he had quite a bit of lag in that one. So K-Slade, just wondering about your final thoughts on the race there.
Yeah, good race. Hectic start, quite down a bit in the middle, but came together in the end. Some good battles out there.
Yep, I would agree with you. Okay, I'll start wrapping this up then. So just quickly want to thank all of the drivers for taking part. We'll try and get the points updated, and might be able to get them posted onto Facebook on Tuesday. But just a reminder that these Friday events, they won't always be able to be broadcast at the moment, unless we do have people come forward to offer and help out, and potentially become Front Row Racing admins, potentially like hosting lobbies, broadcasting, doing commentary, doing the points, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in getting involved in that side of things, contact Front Row Racing JS either on the PlayStation Network, in the community, or at the Front Row Racing Facebook page. If you do want to get involved,
don't want to do any of that, come watch the race, so that way it doesn't get shut down. We get spectators, and we keep it going, right?
well, if there isn't anyone to broadcast it, there'll be nothing to watch. So, but yeah,
I guess it's a good
it is kind of a catch-22 in that regard. But yeah, I mean, it is going to take for people to come forward and potentially offer their services for Front Row Racing to keep the Project Cars side of things going in its ever-improving fashion. I mean, to put it into perspective, the last couple of DTM races have hit record views for the Project Cars viewership. So yeah, some good stuff going on there. And for anyone that's interested in getting involved in the driving side of Project Cars, then check out the Project Cars, the Front Row Racing Project Cars community page on PSN, or come and find the Front Row Racing Facebook page. Okay, next up on the YouTube channel will be on Sunday, 8 PM, where we will be hosting round 5, I think it is, of the Project Cars DTM League, where you'll be able to see the likes of Dave the Harp, see if he can hold on to his title lead against the likes of Jason, Dex, Eltel, Stig v Rob, and a few of the others that are on the grid today. Finally,
great if I can sneak my way in there.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get you onto the grid. So, time to wrap this up then. Final thank yous to K-Slay1 for taking the time to host the Friday community events and put this whole FRRUF Cup together. So thank you again, K-Slay. And also thank you to Dre for joining me on commentary today. I hope you had fun out there.
Oh, definitely. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And to the viewers, thank you again for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and as I mentioned earlier on, if you want to get involved in a more in-depth way, don't hesitate to ask. Anyway, enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend. This has been Front Row Racing FRRUF Cup, and we'll see you all again soon.